So this is a video. I'm just going to talk about why you can trust yourself and trust nature and trust that things will work themselves out, and then you'll have less problems. So the first thing I want to bring up is the song "The Bare Necessities." This is a song that actually has a lot of good advice to it because the bear, when he's singing that, when he's like, "Oh, the bare necessities of life," listen, there are certain things that you need, and if you live in America, you likely already have them, and they're not going to go anywhere unless the only thing that you can really lose that would put your life in danger in America is your health. So if you have some weird fucked up health thing, then you're going to be out of luck. But as long as you have your health, then you have like pretty much you can get shelter and you can get food. And these are things that are good. And then as far as outcomes and your goals and stuff, if you want to achieve your goals, all you have to do. So what I'm saying when I say trust yourself is it ties to goals because when you have a goal and you're aware of it and you feel about it a certain way, it's one thing to stress about it or to give up on it, but it's another thing to just have the goal in the back of your head, have it consciously clarified, know what it is, have an idea for it, and then to trust yourself is kind of like the next step. Because then when you trust yourself, you're not going to have stress associated with the goal. If you have stress associated with your goal, it kind of sabotages your goal because succeeding, you could see succeeding as just a continuation of stress. So then you might self-sabotage. And this is why it's important to trust yourself and to trust the universe or nature or just life itself. And you just trust it. You kind of go, oh, And when your body is experiencing pain, you trust that the pain is just your body fighting a certain negative stimuli. What I'm saying is you look at things and you go, your perspective on them and your levels of stress and your level of enjoyment of your circumstances. When you have work to do, or anything that you're not real jazzed about, you can always use little mental tricks to feel better about them. Like, if I have something to do, it's like, oh, I got to do that. Then I think I might give up on the idea. And I might get lazy and go, oh, I procrastinate. But then you start to consider the idea of what would I do instead? And then the actual truth is, if you were to not do what you need to do and you go, oh, I don't want to do that, it sounds like work. What you're going to end up doing is you're going to end up, there's a low chance that you're just going to find yourself sitting in meditation or napping unless you're like 80 years old. So odds are what you're going to do is you're going to like play a game or something and give yourself a job. Give yourself a job that you didn't need and a job that's not actually accomplishing anything. So you'll end up working for nothing. Where you could have been working and succeeding. So it's like making progress in some way. So it's like you gotta consider these mental attitudes where like it's okay. Your mind might go, oh, it's nice and fun and comfortable to do the kind like a video game because I'm choosing to. That's a task that I'm choosing to do. It's something that I can like kind of be lazy with and have fun with. I can do it the way I want to do it. You can do that with all sorts of things. You can do that with exercise. You can just have fun with exercise to start, or running, or eating salads. You can do things to make them fun. Like when you're eating broccoli, and this is something everyone's at least thought about. When you're eating broccoli or anything like that, you can think, oh, it's like a small little tree. And now all of a sudden broccoli is like this fun thing. And every time you do it, you're like, oh, I'm like a giant. It brings you back to your youth. And then, so all these mental tricks, these are good mental tricks, and they're good to employ. Another thing that's good with all this shit that I'm talking about is getting into a routine, because when you're in a routine, then it's automatic. Because then, as I was talking about with the whole I gave up situation, when you give up, if you have a solid routine and you're set in it, pretty much, even if you give up, what will happen is you'll sit there for 10 minutes, and then your body and your mind literally won't know what else to do, and so they'll go, well, I guess I'm just going to do the thing that I had on my routine. Another thing with routines, if you want to have a routine that goes, you want to try to set up streaks, okay? Because then and this is why people do streaks, is because they work. You get in a 5-day streak, and you're like, shit, I really can't, I don't want to fuck up my streak. And so then what can happen, what you can do is, and this goes back to the beginning of the video where I said trust yourself. This is what I experienced today, is it's like, I'd be a little bit stressed, just be like, oh, am I going to like fuck up my streak today? Am I going to fuck up my routine because I was feeling tired and I was feeling unmotivated? And then it was like, I started being honest with myself. And it was like, and you can feel these things out, I think, because of meditation. When you're meditating, you can kind of feel out your body more because you're not thinking and you're more just, you're observing your behavior in a different kind of a way. So what I observed was it was like, well, what else would I do besides my routine? And it was like, well, I guess the most fun thing that I can do tonight, is to do my routine, and to the point where it's so obvious that I just couldn't even fight it. It's like I'm addicted. It's like being addicted to doing the right thing, because my body is so used to it. And this can happen with drugs too. So people get addicted to drugs and like heroin. And if you get addicted to or alcohol, is a big one. And it's also, by the way, isn't it strange that alcohol is legal and other drugs aren't? It's interesting how that happened. But, well, you could argue that's because it's been normalized in society. And that's just a side effect of it being the way people drank clean water way back in the day. So it was like, that's ingrained into society. And now with habits, you want to ingrain those into your psyche. So it's all connected. I guess society kind of acts like a person, where it picks up a habit, and that's hard to leave it. And it goes after different things. It imitates things it likes. Yeah, societies operate very much like people. The collective unconscious. These are things that are real, and these are things that determine people's behavior. And so there you go. Now, as far as what kind of habits to do, well, I guess I'll talk about more the trusting yourself. So when it comes to trusting yourself, what you really are doing is you're going, no matter what happens, trusting yourself is really trusting the universe. And trusting the universe is really trusting yourself. It's the same thing. What you're doing is you're becoming indifferent to what happens and indifferent to pain. And you're going, oh, my body is designed to keep me alive and to keep me healthy. It's like its function. And you look back and you go, well, nothing bad has ever happened. Like, nothing that bad has ever happened. And there's nothing that could really happen that would be worse than what has happened. Like, if you've lived long enough, it's kind of like, that if you don't do your homework, the worst that can happen is you fail your class. And not much happens after that. What I'm saying is, there's nothing to be stressed about as long as you know that you can trust yourself. So I guess the first thing is develop trust with yourself. And you develop your trust with yourself by doing disciplined things, by saying you're going to do something and then doing it. And when you're doing that, then you can trust yourself, and then when you trust yourself, you can relax. So it's a powerful idea. I must admit, definitely like being very influenced by a YouTuber named Paul Bryson, who shares a lot of ideas like this. But I've also experienced it over the years, where it's like if I think about the best times of my life, it's where I'm on a routine that's good, and I can look at what's happening, and I can look at what I'm doing, and I'm excited for the day if I wake up, because I'm attacking a chosen challenge. Nothing makes life more fun really than a chosen challenge, and it's the same thing with like video games or anything. Anything that you do, if it's like a chosen challenge, it's just the best. I think that's the best life gets, potentially. Anyway, thanks for watching.